Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. The roadmap has been updated, and we have some new features to look forwards to. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for the support. It is truly appreciated. So before we begin, just a quick update on Alpha 3.19. After a new patch dropped last night on the PTU, bringing the mining updates and new player experience, it has just opened up to Wave 2. So if you are an active player of the PTU builds, do take a look to see if you now have access, but they are really storming through this, and hopefully they can get all the stability we need, so when it goes live, we actually get to enjoy it thoroughly. Anyway, on to the roadmap update. This fortnight's update brought with it a new patch cycle, being Alpha 3.20, so many of the new features for this roadmap update are for that patch. Firstly, for the release viewer, the RSI Lynx, which is slated for Alpha 3.19, has just passed its final review and is now committed into the build, and this is RSI's luxury planetary rover. Now, for Alpha 3.20, this is to be the Quarter 3 patch, so around the end of September time. There are 3 features currently present in this column, and first up is Ship Trespass, and this states the interior of players' ships are now considered trespass zones for those without permission to enter, which is only granted via the party system for now until more complex systems for managing crew and passengers is created. Any player trespassing aboard a ship can be attacked by the owner of the ship and any player in their party without fear of committing a crime. So basically, anyone on board your ship who is not in your party can be attacked without gaining a crime stat. And this means that any player in your party has the right to attack a non-party member. Now, this is going to be very useful for obvious reasons. Not a foolproof plan by any means, but as a temporary solution to dealing with trespassers, it should suffice. Now, on the progress tracker, the work on ship trespassing had 14 weeks. That began around the end of March and will complete around the end of June. And so the next new addition to the progress tracker and release viewer for 3.20 is called New Missions Retrieve Consignment, which says a new mission type where players are tasked with locating critical items in consignment lists and then safely extracting them. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this will involve. I do like the idea of being given a list of items to gather and then going about finding them, as I feel a mission like that will take us to some very interesting locations, maybe crossing paths with many different people or NPCs or players. But when it says safely extracting them, I suppose this could also play into the criminality side of things, breaking into places and trying to gather items that you probably shouldn't have your hands on. Now, with this releasing in Alpha 3.20, I do look forward to hearing more about this new mission type on the run-up to its release. And for these new Retrieve Consignment missions, they also had work beginning at the end of May, which finishes around the end of June. Now, the third and final deliverable for 3.20 so far is quite a big one, which I will explain why in a minute, but it is the MISC Hull C, which is the middle option of the Hull series of cargo hauling ships from MISC, and offers an impressive around 4,500 standard cargo units of carrying capacity. Now, I know that we have seen this ship come and go from the roadmap multiple times during Star Citizen's development, but I am hoping that now the cargo refactor is done, it is finally time to get this big boy in game. Also, reading the most recent monthly report, it mentions that the gameplay features team are focused on the new cargo deck and external cargo loading game loop that will support ships like the Hull C, with the first steps such as cargo warehouses and asynchronous buying and selling of orders to be an important part in manual cargo loading within hangars. Now, what this means is that for 3.20, this is when the cargo system is going to be elevated to the next level. Now, don't worry, it doesn't mean we're going to have to load the Hull C by hand. They will have quicker ways of doing it, not just one standard cargo unit at a time. Hopefully we can see NPCs helping out as well, if that is ready for that time. But also, it sounds like we will be utilizing cargo elevators, maybe the loading and unloading of ships using devices like trolleys and tractor beams and cranes, but also utilizing cargo elevators that we could use in our own hangars. And also, it does sound like they are going to use cargo decks. Now, all of the 4 main space stations above the landing zones are classed as cargo decks, so I don't know if it is going to be utilizing them as it says new cargo decks, but it would make sense to use those already established cargo decks as places to store cargo, have cargo delivered to, and then load and unload from there. So very excited to see what all of this will entail for 320 and just what hauling will feel like in the verse when all is said and done. Again, with it being Q3, so around the end of September time, we should hear more about this on the approach on Inside Star Citizen Live, and so on and so forth. But that is this fortnight's roadmap update. Some great new features coming along, and for me, seeing the Hull C and reading the plans for truly expanding hauling in the verse for 320 is something I am certainly looking forwards to. But with that said, if you do appreciate my videos, please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow. Also, come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother. Won't be streaming today, going to be focusing on getting these monthly reports done and dusted, but I should be back streaming on Friday. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you would like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.